Hello and welcome to Two Guys and a Few Good Men. I am TJ Washuk.
And I'm Evan O'Neill.
And today's episode is a double feature. The Amityville Horror from 1979 and the remake from 2005.
Yep. Quite a few differences between the two movies. I would say that due to the original having a little bit longer running time, that is potentially the better movie.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's a scarier movie.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. So if you haven't seen Amityville Horror, basically what it is about newlyweds that just move into a large house with their 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. That house recently had a mass murder that happened, I want to say a year prior, and they move into the house.
It's haunted.
Yes, and what we're going to do is, I guess, in this video, is kind of like what we did last year with It, is compare and contrast the differences between them. Now, I remember when my dad was talking about this movie, the first one, Amityville Horror. He said it was one of the scariest movies he's seen when he was a kid, because it came out in the 70s, and I think he was 19 at the time or so, I think. But, yeah, that one was a scary movie. And then in 2005, when we were 15, Amityville Horror Remake came out, and I remember that movie scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah, I can't remember if I saw it in theater but I remember seeing it pretty early after its release. I remember seeing it about that age, and man, yeah, it was a scary movie.
So the first movie is starring James Brolin and Margot Kidder. James Brolin is, of course, Josh Brolin's father, and Margot Kidder has played Lois Lane in the old Superman movies.
I kind of wish that they would have recast Margot in the remake.
Why is that?
Because she's so pretty.
Yeah, she is, actually. But maybe she's too old, probably.
Of course, to be a newlywed with 3 young children. Almost 24 years, almost 34 years later.
An interesting thing.
36 years.
Yeah. So James Brolin, he was 39 when the movie was made. Now, in the remake with
Ryan Reynolds,
he's 29 years old, so he's 10 years younger, and you can kind of see that because he's in really good shape in this movie, and they make a point to show off his body in it.
Yeah, they have James walk around in his tidy whities at one point.
Yeah.
They have non-stop scenes of Ryan Reynolds without a shirt on.
Yeah. What movie, I guess, came out before that made him get into shape like that, I wonder? Ryan Reynolds.
I don't know. I think maybe he's just always been in shape.
Yeah, because he had a rockin' bod.
Oh yeah, that was there for the women.
Oh yeah.
That was a piece of comfort for the women. Oh, that poor tortured soul.
Right. Now, as far as the music goes, the original received a nomination for its soundtrack for the Oscars.
Yeah, it had a little theme of like children singing.
Yeah, and the intro is pretty creepy. I like how the intro started. This one was better, or the original was better than the remake. I like the red sky that they made, and they focused on the house.
Yeah, there were some pretty good, some pretty cool visual effects that were done in the original that I enjoyed. Plus, I kind of liked how visceral the intro was.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the previous owner of the house walking through, shooting his family, killing his family, and then it's revisited as the home seller is showing George and Kathy Lutz the house. Like each door that she opens in a bedroom, it flashes back to whoever was sleeping in that room was killed.
Yeah, and they kind of did that in the remake. Except instead of like the crazy cuts that they did in the original, they chose to do lightning instead.
Yeah.
I don't remember that part. Let's see. So the house, I like how the house in this movie looks like a face with the eyes as the windows and like almost like a skull-looking face.
Yeah.
And the remake captured that same house. Looked almost exactly the same. They pretty much captured like the master bedroom too, with that weird window or weird
mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. That designed mirror. I'm just gonna go ahead and get it out there.
Yeah.
The remake has a lot of jump scares.
Yes.
A lot of jump scares.
Way
a lot
more
of
in the first.
Yeah, the first one is creepy in comparison to scary that the remake is. And as you watch the movie, you watch a slow boil as George begins to go insane from the house influencing him, because the house is on native burial ground. And I feel like the transition is a lot faster in the remake.
Yeah, it definitely was. Because it's a longer runtime, I think, so they made it longer.
Yeah.
How quickly George gets affected by the house, while in Ryan Reynolds, I want to say 25-30 minutes in, he's already going mad.
Yeah.
In the movie.
I'd also like to point out that the original has a lot of religious overtones.
Yeah.
A lot of it. The priest in the original is actually trying to do his best, but the house just makes him fall ill. Whereas in the remake, the priest gets one taste of the house and he's like, nope. I
honestly like that scene with the priest a lot better in the original. The fly scene.
Oh yeah.
It was so much more well done. The remake, I felt, was way too quick with what they did. Didn't really give the priest enough time to do anything.
Plus it was CGI flies in the remake.
Yeah, exactly.
You slowly start to see them cover him in the original.
It's so much better. That scene. I kind of wish they made it more, because it seems like the original was very religious, like you were saying. I kind of wish they did that in the new one, in the remake, just because that's kind of what the original was about, is a religious family.
Yeah.
And the demons,
Yeah, Kathy was working on painting a blank Virgin Mary statue at one point, and there was almost none of that in the remake.
Or even the crucifix that she put on the wall, that she said it looked beautiful in the light. That was even the only religious thing about the remake is her necklace has a cross, her gold necklace, and then the priest. That's pretty much it.
One of the doorknobs to the rooms has a cross on it.
Yeah, and that's weird. Who has that in a house?
I don't know. But not to knock the original, but I felt like it was a Ryan Reynolds film, because you don't get a whole lot of Kathy in there.
Yeah, you're right. Well, she's not really a well-known of an actor. Besides this movie, she hasn't really done much. Looking at her filmography. Now, the children, bring up the children now. Chloe Grace Moretz, this was her first film. And
yeah, I remember that.
And G.B. Bennett, the asshole kid Michael in this movie, they all had more lines in the remake than in the original.
Yeah, in the original they were largely absent. I mean, they were there to drive the story whenever it needed it, but they didn't have much personality.
And they really focused on the stepfather aspect in the remake. Like, they really brought it up a lot, and how it really affected them psychologically. While in the original, there's only like one time they mentioned it, like, "Can I call you daddy?" or something like that. I forgot.
Oh yeah, he mentions that he likes that they call him George a lot better than Mr. Lutz.
Yes, yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it wasn't. I kind of like that aspect, how they had the kids more interactive in the remake, but I felt that that the original played it a lot better.
Yeah.
And then also there was no mention about her her brother getting married, Kathy Lutz.
Yeah.
That was not it at all. They just took that out. They just took out all those side characters, and it's just basically about the family.
Yeah. They kept the cast minimal in the remake. It was because of the wedding that they needed to leave and to have the babysitter come in the original, whereas in the sequel, the remake, they just decided to get out of the house and go out for dinner, on a date.
And then speaking of the babysitter, what a difference from the 70s version to the remake.
Yeah, where she was a little nerd with like a brace face versus a sexy
girl next door looking outfit,
Yeah, from the remake.
It says on the IMDb page that Megan Fox auditioned for that role.
That would have been something. Now, the biggest difference between the two movies is George Lutz. And the biggest difference between the two George Lutzes is that in the original, he goes back to save the dog.
Yeah.
In the remake, he kills the fucking dog. So,
that's right.
I don't know if you're a dog fan or not, but there's a difference there. He goes crazy in the remake and kills the dog thinking it's something.
I felt Ryan Reynolds really portrayed like, a crazy asshole in this movie compared to the original, where he was an asshole, but he wasn't to the extent of abusive as he was in the remake.
Yeah. The house was far more devastating on George in the remake.
And in the remake, it also went into more depth of Native American burial ground and whatnot.
Yeah.
More visuals.
Yeah, it goes more into that. George actually goes down into the hole underneath the house and finds the little prison, and then I guess he's washed with the blood of the priest or the reverend.
Yeah.
He's conducting all the experiments on the natives. He's washed with the blood, and then that's it. Now he's full tilt crazy.
And also they say catch 'em, kill 'em in the remake and not in the original. And in the remake, the priest is like Ketchum something is his last name.
Yeah, it's John Ketchum.
Yeah. Another difference of dialogue that I was listening to the remake. So in the original, when they bought the house, they're like, we're only going to be able to eat tuna fish casserole for the rest of this year.
Yeah,
In the original, or in the remake, he says, we're going to be eating drywall for the rest of the year.
Yeah. I guess tuna fish casserole not that popular.
But
it's not even that cheap.
No, it's not. I mean, you have that. They could have done a lot better with that. But it's also supposed to be based in the 70s. I didn't feel like the remake really portrayed the 70s as much as the original one did.
Yeah, I mean, it had the vehicles and stuff.
That's about it.
The setting, but we've been knocking the remake a lot, but the remake has got its scares. It does have its scary moments. It does obviously hit you with a couple of jump scares. It's got the weird Jody. You can actually see Jody in the remake versus the original. Jody was the little girl's imaginary friend, In the remake, you actually see her as like this little dead girl with a bullet hole in her head. And so that adds to the creepy factor.
But also makes the other one creepy as well, because you don't see it. It's all in your mind. You're visualizing it, while this one gives you a visualization stimulation.
Yeah.
You know?
So, in the original, the house is haunted, or it's on haunted grounds, and it's possessed, say, if you will, and it affects the whole family. In the remake, it affects George more, and it actually has a reason why it's doing that. So it goes from being a haunted house movie to like a demonic house movie.
Yeah, more demonic, definitely. And also in the remake, the realtor seemed to know that the house is messed up, while in the original, she had no idea really.
Yeah. So.
And then I guess this is one more thing I just want to point out is horror movies in general, when they say based on true events, I feel like they can't really do those too much anymore now that we have the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, it worked in 2005.
Yeah.
It's not, it's based on a book.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It says that on here, online. Was there anything else you wanted to point out? I guess we can compare the lighting. I felt was good for both of them. No issues with that.
Yeah, I liked how dark the original movie was, as far as production lighting went. The remake obviously had some filters on them.
Yeah. On
it to give it like a grimier feel to it, like a bluish hue, and kind of looks beautiful in what was that, 720p?
Yeah, the 720p copy we have.
Yeah. But no complaints about the two movies. Go watch them if you've never seen them. Expect completely different movies, though.
Yeah, and that's why it's on our list. I enjoyed both of them, and I feel if you're a fan of the horror genre, you'll like them both as well. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am TJ Washuk.
And I'm Evan O'Neill.
Until next time.
Satan!
This has been a Two Guys production.
There's Amityville Horror, Amityville 2, The Possession, Amityville 3D, Amityville 4, The Evil Escapes, The Amityville Curse, Amityville 1992, It's About Time, Amityville A New Generation, Amityville Dollhouse, The Amityville Horror 2005, and Amityville The Awakening from 2017.
Oh, last year.
And related movies, related films. The Amityville Haunting 2011, The Amityville Asylum, Amityville Death House, Amityville Playhouse, Amityville Vanishing Point, The Amityville Legacy, The Amityville Terror, Amityville, I'm saying it so many times it's not even a real word anymore, No Escape, Amityville Exorcism, Amityville Prison, and the Amityville Murders.
What? Holy
And that
crap.
was from 2011 up until 2018. So there's been that many movies in the past 7 years.
That's like Saw status.
It's like just slap the word Amityville on anything.